Lane 3, we were speaking to their coach, Matt, yesterday. Really happy with the preparation of the girls. And the hometown crowd here, no doubt excited to see them as one of the medal favourites. But they'll have a pretty tough ask, I think, with the Kiwis next to them in Lane 4.
Will this be USA's first gold of this championship? Let's see how the next 7 minutes will unfold. First, we've got the call over, though. There in Lane 1, the Danes, 27 years of age, Aya Unga Holmgaard, and then the veteran, 38 years young, Julian Rasmussen in the stroke seat. Rode in the Rio Olympics. They're the two Poles closest to you, Joanna Joriacek, 25 years of age, 32-year-old Veronica Perez in the bow seat furthest away. Here they are, the Americans. Emily Schmeig, she's on the right of your picture, the woman from Folsom, California. Closest to you, Michelle Sesha. She's from Folsom, California. I do beg your pardon. Emily Schmeig from Philadelphia, PA. They're the two New Zealanders, Zoe McBride and Jackie Kittle, just 22 and 23 years of age, respectively. Romanians, very young double, Gianina Lehaci and Gianna Elena Beleaga. Very young crew. Romanians have brought a lot of young rowers with them, and here are the two Britons on an outside lane. Catherine Copeland, the Olympic champion from 5 years ago in London, 26 years of age. Emily Craig, her stroke woman, 24. As the camera zooms in, features of Emily Sesha in the American double.
We're away in the lightweight women's double scull A final here. The signature black boat in the centre of the course of New Zealand. With the hometown favourites, United States of America, in Lane 3 off to their right-hand side. And it looks like a pretty fast start here over in Lane 2 for the Poles.
Yeah, 1:44 through the first K. The New Zealanders had the quickest time. And if you're watching in New Zealand, don't be alarmed, because they will actually move fastest in this event from the 250 mark to the 500-metre mark. The Poles have gone out very quickly. I was chatting to them in the ice bath after they had that fantastic result in the semi-final. Two lovely women, and very determined that they are going to put their mark on this final. New Zealanders starting to get into their rhythm. You could see just a few words there from Zoe McBride, who holds the world's best time in the lightweight women's single sculls event.
But to me, the Polish crew look like they've settled into a nice rhythm as we take a look here now. This young Romanian crew, tall, rangy, long strokes, looking to stay up with the pace and track those New Zealanders and the experience of the British to their side.
Well, of course, Romania, when this event first came in the Olympics, I think in 96, 2000, and maybe 2004, did win this event 3 times. And they've got a real history in the event, but we've lost the Romanians from this event. And Iona Levila and Gianna Elena have come back to stamp their mark on it.
Well, we've seen women's Romanian rowing coming back. We've seen them in the heavyweight women's 8. We're looking forward to seeing as well tomorrow. So, yeah, again, movements across all of the disciplines.
In the middle of the course, the United States and New Zealand, they rowed quite similarly. You can see they used a lot of body swing, and they have quite a similar style, which I think will suit them as they go down the track throughout the later stages of this race. But on screen, we have the Romanians.
Under 23 world champions this year in Plovdiv, crushed that race, and here they are. Well, they had a fantastic sprint in the semi-final to make this final, and they're really no respecters of form, are they?
No, they're not, and it's interesting seeing the Danish crew making the big move there. Julian Rasmussen in the stroke seat, so experienced. As we take a look now at the Polish crew, who I think were the early leaders, but they seem to have settled into their pace. It's a high stroke rate, which we're seeing from all the boats today.
Yeah, the Poles with a high stroke rate, but also, as I was talking about the body swing, you can start to see the Americans and the Kiwis really levering through the field now and using their bodies very effectively, whereas the Polish, very upright. They don't use their bodies quite as effectively, and I think relying on their legs so heavily is what's tiring them at this stage of the race.
Yeah, the Poles coached by Przemysław Abrahamczak, and he's taken them to, well, silver medals this year in Lucerne and the European title as well. So the Poles, fantastic form. As we look at the Danish crew Greg was talking about there, Julian Rasmussen, 38 years of age. Look at the pain on her face. You can see in this humidity, hey?
Yeah, but they managed to sprint finish their way to get into this final. With the semi, they're going to have a lot on to get into the medals, because at this early stage now, as we're coming towards halfway, the Kiwis are just starting to put pressure on in the middle of the field.
Yeah, they weren't so happy to talk when they were in the ice bath, actually. You can see how focused they were. As they go through the halfway point, I think that's a really good place for the Kiwis to be, to move in that third quarter. But the Romanians, no respecters of form. They are brave and they are flying.
And starting to suffer now. It is the Poles, the early race leaders. They're really starting to struggle with the heat at the front of the field here. The United States, New Zealand, Romania. Romania sitting about a canvas up. This is an incredible race, but it is the Kiwis now, the fastest moving boat on the course.
But having a look now in this American crew, they've made a good move. They're solidly into that third position. And I think if they can raise the pace, I'm expecting that the Romanians are going to struggle. I might be wrong, but there's still 800 meters to go. And to see these Americans and New Zealanders come back in and challenge for the gold medal.
Well, the Poles went out early, didn't they? And the Danes have tried to hang on, but it's the Americans now, the fastest moving boat, together with the New Zealanders, trying to get back on the Romanians. That's Romania on the left of your pitch and New Zealand in the centre. The charging Americans just to their right. This is the race leader, Romania, just that 5-metre lead.
And they're still going faster, the Romanians. They've still moved out again. Here's me saying that their speed might drop, but then, like you say, no respect to the form. Under 23 champions this year and stepping on.
Nobody's told them, have they? Nobody's told them that you shouldn't be this fast in this race. They're moving away from the Kiwis. Gary Hay, the New Zealand coach, will be watching on the bank, and he will be extremely concerned. But I'm sure he'll have confidence in his women that they will have something left in the last quarter of the race.
This is incredible from Romania. Really interesting way that they row. You can see how far in front of their bodies the handles actually are. So they look quite different to the Kiwis and the Americans sitting off to their right-hand side, but it's really just keeping them upbeat and moving along very fluid with their strokes.
Who do you fancy to win this one then, guys?
The Americans from there, if they can put that sprint in, but so far everything's with the Romanians, and we did see the Americans have that fantastic sprint in the last. They rode a 1:43. That was the quickest last quarter of any crew in the semi-final. If they got that in their back pocket, Greg, it could be America for gold.
Look, I think I'm going to put myself out there and back in the Romanians for a complete surprise upset here, because it looks like they are starting to move away again.
Well, I think they are. I think for me, the New Zealanders, the form crew, will they be able to find the sprint? We've seen that from them in the past, but the Romanians are just still holding this gap, and if anything, they're moving out further. Like you say, Sarah, they're very front-ended. They row long in front of the pin, have a short finish, get the blades out in front of their bodies. And as they hit the red buoys now, they'll know it's only about 30 strokes to the line. The Americans have to do something big right now.
Here are the Americans. They're up to 40 strokes a minute. They're being matched by the Romanians at the same rate. The Kiwis are the ones not able to handle the pressure here in the last 200 metres.
So Romania on the left of your picture, New Zealand in the centre, USA on the right. That's the bronze, silver, gold positions. USA are charging. New Zealand won that silver medal though, and they're coming back on the Romanians.
The Romanians are looking for the finish. They want to feel the finish line now. They want the finish line. There's about 15 strokes left at this point. The Romanians will be desperate to get to that line now. They're still holding that half length. I still think they can hang on from here, but the other boats are charging at them. The Americans with the home crowd. New Zealanders now have gone for it with about 10 strokes left. Romania's desperately hanging on now, looking to the side as they come down towards the line. And the line is going to come for the Romanians just in time. And I think they got that. I think they got that gold ahead of the New Zealanders and the Americans, but we're going to have to wait for the official confirmation.
Gianina and Ionela Livia, we love you. That as she crosses herself, Gianina, the 22-year-old stroke woman, gives praise and thanks to everyone involved in this win. McBride and Kittle, they will be absolutely gutted that they couldn't win this race. And America, well, they were so close for that silver medal, but Schmid and Sesha had to settle for bronze in the end.
I thought that was a really good comeback by the Americans to get that silver medal, because they looked like they were out of it with 2:50 to go, and I thought the Americans were going to charge on the Romanians, but I mean, what a surprise win here from Romania. That's absolutely incredible.
Well, what a brave move that they put in so early in the race to get themselves in that leading position and really challenge the form guide and say, well, we've won the under-23s, we've got loads of self-belief, let's show up here and win the World Championships. Why not?
Amazing.
Makes you want to do it all over again. I love those little earrings the Romanians wear. They're sort of really nice and distinctive, beautiful suntans. Romania back on top in the women's double after a long women's lightweight double after a long absence. So, as we look at the grandstand, you can see the results, 6:55.
World Rowing Championships.
That's a very fast time for this event. Bride McKinnell in